I'm going to dance till I see myself on the screen. I see myself on the screen, so I can't stop dancing. Ooh, I'm going to tweak my camera a little bit there because we're shaving my head more than it is. There we go. Now you can see all of me. Hello, weirdos and malafolks. Welcome back to the shenanigans. How is everyone doing? I haven't seen you all since before the new year. I haven't seen you since last year. How is everyone today? Hope everyone had some nice holidays, the many holidays that there are. Christmas, New Year's, Yule was in there. God, there's so many holidays that time of year, and I love to celebrate as many of them as possible. Saturnalia is a good fun one. But yes, welcome to the Play Weird stream in 2022. It does not feel like that year should be correct, but you know what? It is. So anyway, we're going to get painting. At the end of 2021, I was working on my Apex crew. These guys right here are the last I have to finish up the Apex crew for Mr. Cooper, Lord Cooper, which I've got right here so I can, reference his paint colors as I'm moving forward with these guys. And then after that, it's time to figure out what I'm moving on to next. So I've got a couple options I'm thinking about. But yeah, it's going to be nice to be painting a few minis today. I have been painting a bunch lately, but not minis. I've been doing a crazy amount of terrain lately. And I think I'm going to start with this guy. So I've been doing a crazy amount of terrain as I'm getting ready for Las Vegas Open, which if you haven't heard, I am running the the Malifaux events at Las Vegas Open again this year. Super excited for that. And the other exciting news that came out little less than a week ago, or maybe slightly more than a week ago, one of those two, a weekish ago, within the margin of error, was that Weird Miniatures will be at LVO as a vendor, which I am super excited for. I love it when I get to see the fine folks from Weird, the proto weirdos, progenitor weirdos. Is that I don't know. The weirdos from Weird HQ. Oh, what was that? Weird will be at Las Vegas Open. Weird will be at Las Vegas Open. I shall scream it from the rooftops. So you should all come to Las Vegas Open. Come participate. We were sold out for a little while there, but then I managed to get us, worked with my contacts over at Frontline Gaming, who is the main host of Las Vegas Open, was able to get some more space there. Let's see, am I centered up? I should be up a little bit higher there. Actually, it's going to pull this down a little bit here. Sorry. Was doing some streaming a little bit of terrain painting the other night on my own stream. And so I've got to zoom out a little bit more for that because it's a little bit painting larger pieces then. So I've got to show more of my desk then. All right. I'm very excited that I can finally say out loud that Weird is going to be there. I haven't talked about LVO much on the stream here because I didn't accidentally want to let the cat out of the bag and face the wrath of Weird Kelly or Weird Hobbies here because I'd get yelled at. Because you got to, unveil things at the appropriate time. I've got to double check. I'm going to check the reference art for these guys. Is he wearing gloves or is he barehanded there? Let's take a look. Crypsis, that's on it. Crypsis core. Looks like he is wearing gloves. Okay, cool. But good to see you, McBluff and Haunted. How are y'all doing? How were your holidays? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Had some nice holidays. Was able to actually go and see family. Go see my wife's family up in Michigan, which was nice. I hadn't seen them in about 2 years because pandemic. So it was nice to go up there. Went up there for Christmas, and then got to spend New Year's with some of our best friends around here, which was nice. Alrighty, so that's going to be that. Let's go with a little mahogany brown here. This guy's going to have a lot of, browns and greens on him as the rest of the crew has. Got to get my head back into, streaming mode here. Making sure I'm, painting in the center of the screen. It's been too long since I've seen you all. And, I've missed streaming for everyone. I like being on here, chatting with you while I paint. It just makes me happy. It makes me feel social and productive at the same time, which is always good. Because since I work from home, not always social. Well, don't get as much social interaction as I would always like, as I'm a very gregarious person. Oh, yay! So what have you been working on lately, McBluff? End of the year drawing projects. Oh, nice, nice. Now, are you in school for animation? Do you animate professionally, or is it more of a hobby kind of thing? I feel like we've talked about this before, but my brain is kind of, scattered sometimes. Okay. Senior high school or college? Okay, okay. Yeah, because like if you're doing all the animation stuff, I've got friends who so because I went to one of my most recent degree, I got a degree in video game design. Uh, so a lot of that involved 3D animation. So I've got friends who work in animation, and so it's like, oh, if you're in senior year of college, there, got a couple contacts to put you in touch with there if you're doing looking for professional animation jobs. I actually have a friend who is a lead animator on Archer. Friend from shoot, way back in high school, who I've known for a long time. And the crazy thing with that is that, yeah, they're located right around the corner from Weird Games. They're also in the Georgia area. So that's kind of fun. So when I found that out, I was like, wow, small world kind of thing. Yeah, you know what? You also have. Yeah, but those are the same color as your jacket. Yeah, we'll go with the belt color for that one. And your shirt. What color we got your shirt in here? Is that going to be a? I like to check the look on these guys sometimes. Okay, yeah, you're wearing dark shirts. That works. Okay. Dark shirt. Yours is all furry there. Okay, cool. Yeah, what they use mostly is After Effects. So I also learned a bunch of After Effects stuff, which After Effects fun program to work in. Um, I mean, it's Adobe, so you're paying Adobe prices. But if you're a student, you can get student pricing on a lot of the Adobe software. So that's nice. Yeah, Adobe Creative Cloud. Um, a lot of times they've got varying Creative Cloud. Yeah, Creative Cloud is the whole deal. They've got various packages available depending on what you need. Because they've got a separate package for like just photo editing. Because there's a lot of people who will get just want it for Photoshop and Lightroom, but don't need like the animation packages. So you can get just you can get just the Photoshop package, which I think will be like Photoshop, Lightroom, and Illustrator. Or you can get the full Creative Cloud, which has got, those as well as like After Effects, Adobe Audition, which I use that to edit audio. See what else is in there. Whatever. Adobe Animate, which is what used to be called Flash, but honestly, that program's kind of dying, mostly because it's kind of garbage, and Flash is wildly insecure. But I still know people who swear by it. I kind of hate that. I hate working in Adobe Animate. I prefer to, use After Effects. But I've pretty much played with all the Creative Cloud at some point or another. InDesign. InDesign's a fun one. That's important if you're going to be doing layout stuff. I know that's very important for gaming industry, for tabletop gaming industry jobs, because you got to do layout. You can't just do it all digital. You got to actually make things physical then. Yeah, lately I've mostly been using Photoshop, because I got to edit photos when I take pretty pictures of things. A lot of Illustrator, because Illustrator, being able to make vector images, syncs up well with the sculpting I do in ZBrush, because I can import vector files if I want to make a logo or something 3D. And then After Effects when I want to do any motion graphics design stuff. But yeah, ultimately, all of the all of the various kinds of art software kind of socket into each other, and understanding design stuff, improves other things. Honestly, when I started taking art classes that weren't even related to miniatures painting, it helped improve my miniatures painting. It's just getting that innate design sense and practicing it a lot really helps to one art sockets into another nicely, is kind of the way I put it. That being able to understand miniatures painting helped me with understanding texturing and painting textures for video game design stuff, and understanding how, having done, played with miniatures for years and years and years, I had done, a little bit of, green stuff sculpting here and there. And that helped with 3D modeling, sculpting type things. And so all that kind of sockets together. Back when I was studying theater, I had to learn how to do costuming. and part of that was doing watercolor renderings. And so learning how to do watercolors, because I mean, ultimately, like I use the Winsor Newton brushes. Well, Winsor Newton, there are some of the best brushes that watercolor artists use, and I know more than a few artists out there who started as well. I know at least one very great artist, Shoshi Bauer. Um, which I think Shoshi's miniatures painting. I don't know if she streams or just does YouTube's videos. I'm not sure anymore, but she posts a lot on Facebook. Um, Phenomenal painter, but her original background was in watercolor painting, and because the way we paint miniatures is very similar to watercolor painting, it translates really well, and she gets some beautiful, beautiful looking models. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I haven't. I don't think I've seen her paint any of Malifaux stuff. I know she's really big in the Kingdom Death community. I know she's really big on promoting female artists, which is big because a lot of times we're getting women get a little bit swept under the rug in the gaming community or discouraged in the gaming community because for many years it was a boys club, which not that it should be. It's the you know it's yeah she so yeah if you look up Shoshi Shoshie, it's hard to for me Shoshi, it's hard to pronounce. She recently did she's apparently starting a line of kind of larger scale art miniatures sculpted by female artists, concepted by female artists, to look at it from a not from the male, painting sexy men, not from the male gaze, because a lot of the sexy men um, miniatures out there are more of a power fantasy for men than they are appreciating the female gaze. So she did this really cool. Uh, it was I was seeing it over on Facebook over the weekend. This cool angel model that is about beauty and emotional vulnerability, and it was really the story behind it is really really cool, and the model is a beautifully sculpted model. Probably pick that up when it comes out, hopefully. Laying in the base coats. Oh, I got that there. Oh no, that's something that I've got. I think a lot of people have got to work towards removing from themselves is assumptions that yeah assumptions based on appearance, um, all of that. What am I going with there? I'm going with. Let's go with Muddy Brown. I think Muddy Brown's good. Yeah, assuming not. I like it when you can just avoid assuming malice to begin with. Assuming someone's coming from a place of ignorance as opposed to malice is a good way to operate in life because it less confrontational, more peace. So long as people correct their ignorance with, and I'm not meaning ignorance in a bad way. I'm using ignorance as a, hey, they are lacking knowledge. Because I know that ignorance is often used as a really negative word, and that's definitely not what I'm meaning there. I mean, from someone coming from a place where they don't have the full knowledge. And so long as people are willing to update their assumptions with new information, that's always a good thing. I also heard a funny quote at one point. Never sue that extreme incompetence can often be confused with actual malice or something to that effect. That you know, never assume someone's out to be a real jerk when maybe they're just completely incompetent. Oh yeah, sorry. I am loving the textures on these Apex models, by the way. The entire keyword full of great textures. Need some tea. Yeah, normally you see me when I'm up here painting. See that I've got my big old metal cup full of iced tea. Going with the hot tea today because my refrigerator died over the weekend, so I have no ice cubes. It makes me very sad. So instead, I'm drinking tasty hot tea. Of course, I don't mean it's amusing to see them mess up. We're telling. Yeah, it's those weird assumptions that people have. go. By the way, is anyone else here a fan of really good tea? Because I'm drinking good tea today. It's very, very nice. Drinking my Lapsang Souchong. It tastes like smoke and is delicious. And if you like smoky flavored things, Lapsang Souchong is quite delightful. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So for a very long time, the leader of the quote unquote de facto leader of making people hangry, not thirsty. Sorry, I'll start talking about food in a little bit, but I was just enjoying my tea. It's very good because I don't normally just drink an iced tea on stream. Today I'm drinking hot tea and it's smoky. But yes, for those who are newer to the community, the founder of A Weird Place, the Facebook group, that is now the official Weird Facebook group, but it was originally founded by Chrissy Dubois. Really good, really, really awesome person, great friend of mine. She's kind of dropped out of the Malifaux community now at this point when she handed it over, A Weird Place over to Weird, dropped out of the Malifaux community a little bit. She still, lurks some, but dropped out of there just because, work and life wasn't really allowing as much time for gaming anymore. But was originally founded by Chrissy, who's good people. Just chatted with her the other day. And honestly, the Malifaux community, well, obviously, I love painting Malifaux miniatures. I love playing games of Malifaux. But I will say that the community with Malifaux is what has really kept me so involved with the Malifaux community for so long. Because, ultimately, you can play games with anyone, but I would rather play games with people I like to hang out with. And I like hanging out with the Malifaux community. And that I also include hanging out online, because even though we're not in the same space here, you're here doing the same thing I'm doing. We're hanging out remotely from each other. And I think that that is a perfectly valid way to hang out with other people, especially in the times like we are right now. And hanging out online with the Malifaux community really helps cement my love of Malifaux in general, the world of Malifaux, but the community, because it is an upbeat community in general. There's always going to be, people who get cranky over things, or, oh, why did you nerf this thing? Or, oh, I'm sad that, my master isn't stronger. But what really is the community. And stuff like, what we're doing here today, the Play Weird streams, these, I love doing this. Because coming here, painting minis, chatting with all of you is one of the high points of my week. Honestly, it really is. I mean, I enjoy doing my own streams too, but there's something different between doing my own stream and doing a play weird stream. These are, you all. I know why you're all here. You're all here because weird to an extent. I'm doing my own streams. So I get people who are coming in who don't know what's going on, and then I must fill them in and with the joy that is Malifaux. Because honestly, most of the time I paint up Malifaux stuff on my own streams, anyways. I mean, lately I've been painting a lot of terrain as I'm gearing up for Las Vegas Open. Because I need to have a lot of tables. Gonna have a good turnout there this year. Right now, the numbers are already higher than they were at LVO 2019, so that's good. And my intention is I really want to turn LVO back into one of the premier Malifaux events. Which obviously, with pandemic, it's a little hard to. There's many people who won't, can't travel right now. Me being here, I've never painted a mini and don't play Malifaux proper much. More so, I play TTRPG and do fan art. Oh, you know what? Have you listened to any of the Breachside broadcasts at all? Because I love. Oh, okay, good. Because I'm like, oh, if you haven't found these yet, you gotta listen to the Breachside broadcast. Because I love it. So when I started playing Malifaux, back in right when second edition launched. Learned it at Gen Con that year. It was my first year I went to Gen Con. I had seen a friend's models. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go learn how to play at Gen Con. Well, they fell in love with the gameplay. Now, when I played other games, I had the problem where I became, super fluffy bunny. I was very much into the lore. And sometimes other games, if you play, a very fluffy lore influenced crew, it's not the most competitive crew. And so I was determined to be, okay, Malifaux is going to be the game I do competitively, and I'm not going to care about the lore, and, I'm just going to focus on being competitive with it. And then I fell in love with the lore and started listening to the lore. But I love that, especially with the way keywords are in third edition, you can play a fluffy crew, a fluffy, heavily lore-inspired crew, and still be competitive. And I love that so much. It just makes me happy to be able to be, a fluffy bunny and still play competitively. Not that I actually get to play competitively all that much anymore because I'm always running events. I'm the guy who runs things. So I don't get to play as competitively as often anymore because I'm always running events. But yeah, I just ran one of our local tournaments here in Houston over the weekend. It was fun. But then at those I only get to play if there's an odd number. Now don't get me wrong, the whole number of them is odd. Ayo! But I only get to play if there's an odd count of them. I have a number of odd players, but didn't have an odd number of the number of odd. Yeah, sorry. Terrible pun. And I'm okay with it. I noticed about McMorning's title art. Told Haunted about it. Oh, I didn't see that. What was it that I mean? I know he's Douglas McMorning. Yeah, I know. I got my dad jokes. I generally refer to them as uncle jokes because, see, an uncle joke is like a dad joke, only slightly more inappropriate. And while I may not be a dad, I have 7 nieces and nephew. I'm the fun uncle. Or funkle, as I like to call it. Well, we don't talk about Bruno. No. Heyo. So in post-mortem, when McMorton is making his choice, he looks down at his hands. His left hand, which is already generally associated with sinister things, is covered in blood, represents the resurrection of past. The one he ultimately decides on. So by giving himself another left arm, he's literally doubling down on his insanity. Oh, that's some layers there. That's wow. Yeah, I mean, if you think about uh, in a lot of Elizabethan prose, so in a lot of Shakespeare stuff, they refer to it the hand, it's right and sinister. So not right and left, it's right and sinister. So that's where some of the it also gets in. Hadn't thought about that. That's a nice pick up on that. Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, it looks like I found my new thing I learned today. Because ultimately, I think everyone should learn something new every day. And today, I learned that the word for left comes from the Latin word for sinister. And now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe! Alrighty. So that's going to be metal on there. Probably go with which brown am I going to ask for that? But there you go. Yeah, that'll work. The other half of what? Oh, sorry, I must have missed. Oh no. The other half is red and blue lasers. The GI Joe. That's me being old there. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I go, and now you know, and knowing is half the battle. GI Joe. Those are from PSAs following the GI Joe cartoon. Oh, okay, just making sure. Because those are from PSAs from at the end of GI Joe cartoons when I was growing up. And then Sailor Moon had some. Okay. But so back in the early days of the internet, before the tube of views, there was a bunch. Someone went and redubbed a bunch of the GI Joe PSAs, and they are hilarious. So being a weirdo, I frequently reference these redubbed PSAs and assume that people know what I'm talking about, and then somewhat disappointed if they don't get my redubbed. Oh, it was very much a big thing in the early days of YouTube, but the redubbed GI Joe PSAs predates YouTube. Much like Peanut Butter Jelly Time and the rejected advertisements. Man, those are the old days of the internet. Before there was the one place. Ah. You could do that something with that with the have you listened to the bit with the guild where they're in the guild break room? With the evil that has the one evil coffee maker. Well, not so much evil, but just diabolically awful coffee maker. That break room C, I think. But the coffee maker and the bagels, and it's the various members of the guild. Starting the day. Yes, that's glorious. Great minds think alike. You said, "Oh, the Who broke it." That sounds a lot like who broke the coffee maker. Any other meme clips used for Malifaux characters or stories? So if you want something generally memes are a little bit more humorous. A lot more of the humorous, memey stuff comes from the Bayou, the stories with the gremlins and Bayou and stuff. So Bullets is a good one. The story where Wong is helping out Mancha Roja in the Tournament of Fighters. That one is a fun one as well. I think it was on one of the more recent vines would look like. But humanity's not ready for that. Well, I mean, if you want Malifaux vines, got to talk to Titania. Ayo! Well, you know what? The reason why. Oh, crap. Let's use an eraser on there. Yeah, that's all right. Saves it. I can fix that. All right. The reason why is because this is my brand new mug. That's what I live my life by. Mm. And that's why no one has kicked me out. Oh, it says, I'm a goddamn delight. Because I am. Exactly. My wife got me that mug for Christmas. It's from a site called Effin Birds. Where it's usually just a bunch of these little bird illustrations with hilarious little sayings on them. Enjoy your bike ride or walk. Honestly, I need to be more diligent with my exercise. No, the got a little lax with my exercise over the course of the holidays. I was doing really, really well. I've got a rowing machine. I was doing really well rowing on a regular basis before the holidays, and then holidays and travel and all the insanity of just getting things done, trying to close things out before the end of the year, and all of that. I just haven't been as diligent with my rowing as I would like to be. And rowing is I like rowing a lot because it's a good full body workout. Um, but it's pretty low impact on the knees. And I waited tables and worked retail for a long time. More waiting tables than retail, but those you're on your feet constantly, for like 12 hours at a time, and it destroys your knees. So I do not have great knees, and I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30 now. I'm not 40 yet, but definitely closer to 40 than I am to 30. So I gotta take care of myself a little bit better. Okay. All right. Set the dry palette aside again. Get back to the wet palette. Yeah, so there's base coated there. You're getting a nice little start on this dude. Let's see. What am I missing on him currently? So it's everyone's hobby goals for the year. Because I didn't quite hit my hobby goal for the end of January, finishing off the Apex, because the life just got crazy at the tail end of the year there. So didn't quite finish off Apex like I wanted to at the tail end of the year. So I'm going to finish them off. And then I think I'm going to start painting up a new faction. New year, new faction. And I've been eyeballing doing some outcasts, because there's not a lot of outcast players in my area. And I was thinking doing the Vix, Von Schill, and Hamlin sound like fun. So I think I might start doing them after I finish off Apex here. I just need to at some point get around to building. I've got the Crazy Cat Lady box. And so I've wanted to paint it for a long time. But because I know that Ben got started on the Rats with Hamlin the other day. So you don't want to be watching two people painting the same models. So I think I'm going to get going on the possibly the Vix, maybe Caitlin Abernathy, the Crazy Cat Lady. We'll see what direction inspiration takes me. If any of you out there have an opinion, let me know. I was just looking. As we saw when I did my my painting for with the Waldo's wheel, I've got quite a stack of shame or pile of possibilities, as is a better way to put it. My pile of possibilities is quite large. Alrighty. Coming along. He's got all of his base coats on there now. I'll clean a few things up, but the base coats are there. All right, I got to do his shirt. I think we're going to do his shirt look to be pretty much a deep gray in the artwork, and I like that. He's got, black t-shirt on. Hey, Haunted, you still hanging around? Oh, so science. You got hit with LVO packing. Hey, you packing up all the awesomeness to bring to me? Because I'm all about the LVO packing. I've been, getting ready. That has been consuming much of my hobby time of late. Is prepping up more and more terrain for LVO. Also been prepping up some of the LVO, some stuff for LVO swag bags. So for those of you who don't know what LVO is, LVO Las Vegas. So LVO is Las Vegas Open. It's going to be taking place not long from now. It's going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, January 28th through the 30th. And I will be there running the Malifaux events. I'll be there on Friday. We've got the Friday Fun Pass. We're doing the a double rush tournament on Friday for most of the day. which Double Rush is a cool team format where you basically have got 2 players, 2 masters, which is really, really cool. It's a cool, fun format. And then in the evening, we are doing the Honeypot Casino Brawl, which we're doing it's a modified all-out brawl. We're using these fun rules. So really awesome guy in the community, Doug Broman. So I'm Doug Bowman. He's Doug Broman. We confuse each other all the time. Seriously. So Doug went and modified these the all-out brawl rules to make what he's calling the Bonanza Brawl, which is like the all-out brawl. You've got a single model, anything except a master, and it's a battle royale designed for up to 6 players. There's these little piles of loot there where you poke the pile of loot and you get to put on cool upgrades. It's delightful shenanigans. And if any of you have watched my streams before, you know that I love shenanigans. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm running the Fiendish Gamble GT. So it's a 2-day, 5-round grand tournament. And Las Vegas Open, always tons of fun. And if you hadn't heard yet, Weird will be there, which is why Play Weird has been doing a bunch of packing for that. So it's very, very exciting. I don't know which all members of the Weird team will be there. But, last year, in 20, it wasn't last year, but the last LVO, so LVO 2019, had some of the design, had one of the designers there. And it was cool to, chat about the game while people are playing it, a really high level. And that they had, some of the observations he made while seeing what was going on in the tournament ended up informing some of the, the errata and FAQs that happened. Because he saw, things out in the wild that he hadn't seen before. And so that was cool, I blame the Nakima player that was there for why Inhuman Reflexes got nerfed. All righty. Let's go with a little bit more of this. But so yeah, one of the other cool things that if you check out my Instagram feed, Top Doug Design on Instagram, I posted a few days ago. I posted a couple of times some photos of some of the terrain I've been working on for the tournament. Yeah, there we go. Instagram, Top Doug Design. That's me. And I've been posting some cool terrain photos there. And one of the ones I'm super excited for, which I haven't posted as many photos of yet, because it's still a little bit of a more of a work in progress, is I'm working on a casino table. Because, well, Las Vegas Open takes place in a casino. So I feel like there should be a casino table. So there will be this year. I'll have a couple casino tables. So I'm super excited for that. It's going to be fun to get to the table because you don't see a lot of terrain that for an indoor space. So I'm making one that's kind of, inspired by the Honeypot Casino. So it's a casino with a little bit of a sinister twist to it. Yeah, I think the most recent one I posted had some pictures of the light up terrain there that I've got that I've been working on. I painted that on my last stream, my last personal stream. Also, earlier, I guess last week, I ended up painting up. I felt like that guy at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, because I was painting up like I think I painted up like 40 crates in 2 hours. Because let's be honest, when it comes to terrain, you can never have too many crates. Crates make for great terrain. You stack enough of them together, it's like a building. Put a couple, you can make walls out of them. They are a very versatile terrain piece. And my local players in Houston this weekend saw one of the cooler looking pieces of terrain, new pieces of terrain that I'll hopefully be painting it up. I might start working on that on my stream tomorrow night. We'll see. We'll see how things are going. But it's a delightful surprise. My Houston, my Texas guys know which one I'm talking about. One of the cool things I like to make terrain that lights up and glows. So, if you're at LVO, swing by, stop by, say hello. If you're not at LVO, why aren't you at LVO? You should come to LVO. I'm of the opinion that I want my tables to make everyone who is there go, oh, if they're not there playing Malifaux, they want to be playing on my tables. And if they're, at home, look at the pictures from LVO, they'll go like, oh man, I want to be at LVO. Because beautiful tables just make for a beautiful event. That's what I'm of the opinion of. Also, it's still up in the air a little bit. But I might actually be able to live stream some of the games. Now, because I'll be running the tournament, I'm not going to be able to be doing, full play-by-play commentary. But I've had a few people ask me if I was going to be able to live stream there. And they recently announced for LVO that there will be free Wi-Fi available to hotel guests. And, I'm staying at the hotel there. So I will have access to Wi-Fi. If it will be strong enough of a signal to stream, we shall see. but I at least will be bringing, my setup to hopefully get a little bit of streaming in while I'm there. So who knows? Could see some cool things from LVO. At least that's the plan. All right. I think it is now time to get going on his skin a little bit more. And so with skin tones, I like to go a good deal darker to start out with than maybe I would with other stuff, just to give a nice depth to them. I'm a big fan of I'm using the Reaper MSP skin tones. And so if you haven't tried them out, I cannot recommend them highly enough. They're my favorite skin tone range. One of the reasons I like them so much is how they handle non-Caucasian skin tones. It's really hard to find good non-Caucasian skin tones. I know Citadel doesn't really have a non-Caucasian skin tone. But what Reaper MSP has, so what I started out using dark highlight for my shadow color. Then I'm moving up to tan shadow. Well, they go all the way chromatically down from dark shadow up through, dark shadow, dark midtone, dark highlight, then tan shadow. We got tan midtone, tan highlight, and it goes all the way up to fair highlight. And it does that totally chromatically. So you can go anywhere along there. If you go, Reaper kind of goes off of their triads, and I tend to stick to those, at least as a starting point. It's a good point to figure out where your midtone, your highlight, and your midtone, shadow, and highlight are going to be. A lot of times I'll go a little bit darker on the shadow, a little bit darker on the highlight. But it's, a little brighter on the highlight. But they are, a good jumping off point. And so you could really go with any three up and down there to get a good set of skin tones. So maybe you don't want it as bright as fair highlights for, super, pale person. Well, so maybe you go with fair skin as your highlight and use tanned highlight. So go tanned highlight as your shadow, fair shadow as your midtone, and then like fair skin as your highlight. But yeah, they are just make some really great paints that have a wide range of non-Caucasian skin tones is really nice. Hey, welcome back, McBluff. Bike ride or walk? No, no. You see, I'm using that as inspiration. I've got to get myself back into, getting a little bit more physical exercise in. Um, I like to. I've got a rowing machine that I like to use because a lot of times around here, there's not really good places to bike near me. Houston is not super bike friendly, but so I've got a rowing machine, and I was doing a really good job before the holidays of rowing on a regular basis, and then the holidays struck, and I wasn't, doing as great. So I'm using that as inspiration to get myself up and, moving again more often. Because merrily, merrily row my boat. Yes. Life is but a dream. Yeah, I mean, because I, spend a lot of time sitting here painting. If I'm not sitting here painting, I'm sitting on the other side of the room there, working at my computer. So I spend a lot of time sitting. So I've got to, move my body. Hey, welcome back, Haunted. How you doing, Haunted? I don't think I've seen you since last year. Oh yeah, that would be nice. I should get one of those. But I'm not. I row. It's nice. It's a good full body workout that is not rough on my knees. Like rowing does it lives in that nice area between kind of strength training and cardio. So I like that. Man, I'm liking how this guy's face is looking already. How are your holidays, Haunted? Oh, yeah, I could see that not being great. Ultimately, I feel like everyone you find that exercise that works within your physical limitations. Oh, good. Glad you had a blast with the holidays. Yeah, short like the day after I last time I did the Play Weird stream when I did the Wheel of Woe was right when I did that. After I did that, I flew up to Michigan, spent time with my in-laws, which was nice. Hadn't seen them in about a year. Or 2 years, honestly, yeah. Ample pad back. Yeah. See, and that ample padding is why we all need to work out. Because, I mean, as painters, we spend a lot of time sitting here. Talking to a viewer about, getting motivated to, get some exercise and move about. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's scary right there. I'm 38. And shoot, my dad had a stroke. I mean, my dad's, how old is my dad? What year is it? 2020? My dad's 69. My dad just turned 69 about a month ago. And he had a stroke back in his 50s. And my grandpa had some strokes. So I think they run in my family. So that's kind of scary. Yeah. So that's why, I make sure before the holidays, I was, getting in a good amount of rowing before most every day, at least 4 days a week, sometimes 5. Then the damn holidays, and I just fell out of the habit. So I'm working at getting back into that habit. I just got to get up and move from time to time. Especially because, even, it's not just, the hobbyist stuff here. My job, I literally just take the, see, I'm looking at you all on this screen right here. I've got another monitor that I just swing my monitor on the arm, and I sit over there and I work on my computer the rest of the time. Oh, that's smart to do. I have an alarm for when for when I get up and do rowing. But I had a meeting this morning that ran a little bit long, and then one of my buddies had lost. He got a new laptop, and he'd lost all of his settings for his 3D printer. So I was helping him get up and running with that again. Which those are all excuses, but then I had to, go eat lunch, take a shower, and then get ready to stream here with y'all. Speaking of printers, ooh. Oh, man. That's not happy times. I'm assuming you mean your resin printer? Shoot, lost or undeliverable. Who are you ordering from? Amazon. So, are you trying to get a? Are you an Elegoo man or an Anycubic man? Anycubic. So, I've always ordered mine directly from Anycubic instead of going with Amazon for that. Yeah, because I've got my Photon now. I've also got a for Christmas I got a Photon Mono X. So I've got my large format printer now. Were you printing bases for that? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, so much more bed space, and the exposure. So the exposure times I was running my original Photon. So I've got an original Photon with the original board and everything. So not the fake, or as they were calling it, faux, as in FAUX ton, the Photon, the fake Photon, where they changed out the boards from the original boards. So I've got an original Photon. And so with that, I was probably my exposure times were, I think they're about 11-second exposure times. Same resin on my Mono X, 1.5-second exposure times. Well, no, it's just that so the difference between the original Photon didn't have a mono screen, and the mono screens are more resilient. Yeah, so yours are the mono screen is more resilient to UV light than the original screens they had. So they couldn't. It has got the original Photon doesn't have as strong of a UV array as the Mono or the Mono X. And so because those have a stronger UV array, the exposure time it can be lower. Well, one of the reasons they switched their boards is they had a falling out with Chaitu Box. And Chaitu Box is the one who makes a lot. They're the one who makes all the boards for the Elegoos. And so they had a falling out with them. And so now they have a different board manufacturer, or they might be doing theirs internally. But that's why the slicer that they ship it with is the Photon Workshop, which is hot garbage. But instead of them just recommending Chaitu Box, which, to be honest, Chaitu Box is what most of the industry uses, anyways. Hey, good luck. Yeah, so the nice thing about the Mono X, because it's got such a lower exposure time, it meant, obviously something that would normally take like 7 hours on my old printer was taking maybe, so like 7.5 hours of the print was taking like 3 hours or less now. But then because I've also got such a larger build plate, if I was printing multiple of that, effectively, so I printed up a whole bunch of crates. Because I had these crates, it would normally take 7 hours to print one. I was able to print three in 3 hours. So it would effectively have been 21 hours worth of printing. The old way was now, just 3. Oh, Photon Mono 4K. Yeah, they've so I got my Photon Mono X, which is a 4K printer. I got it on sale because they were taking pre-orders for the Mono X 6K. Which, not gonna lie, I'm a little confused by them doing a 6K. Normally it's like 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. But they went 1K, so they went 2K, 4K, 6K. I'm very confused by it. Um, it's still a finer resolution than what I had. So the monos have a smaller pixel size than the original RGB screens. So I know there's, full technical specs on it. Ultimately, the pixel screen, it is better resolution on a Mono X than it is on an OG Photon. Plus, honestly, I'm not printing them for casting them, and with a thin coat of primer over them, you never notice any layer lines. And the resolution is crazy crisp to begin with. There's a certain point where increasing the resolution doesn't really do anything other than allows you to charge more for it. Just like some of the phone resolutions are like, oh, we've got this resolution now. They're getting to a point where the resolution is finer than the human eye can actually make out. Now, are you seeing grow lines or are you seeing aliasing lines? Because those are two different things. Okay, that would be grow lines then. Also known as layer lines. That could be A2. Yeah, honestly. So the anti-aliasing settings are weird. I've tried to look into them some, and certain anti-aliasing settings make it's sort of it's this weird. It's like H and with this it's some weird dual sliders where you gotta get the balance right. I've got those tuned pretty well on on the settings with my OG Photon. I'm still working on getting the settings better tuned on my Mono X. Yeah, well, honestly, the way they do their AA is weird. It's set up weird in there. I feel like they just need to revamp how they list their AA settings. Should go with. Yeah, where's. Let's go with. Yeah, all else fails, you can also direct send it to me. Did you send the link to me there or? Ah. Oh, let's take a look at this. Oh goodness. See what I'm looking at here. So I'm not really seeing. I'd have to zoom in on that, honestly. Like, to be fair, I'm about, like arm's length away from my screen, and I'm looking at it on Instagram, which is it wasn't letting me zoom right there, so I don't see anything there. Yeah, yeah. Well, we can talk after stream because I'm not seeing any issue there. But yeah, I'll talk to you about that after the stream. Haunted. Yeah, I become the guy amongst a lot of my friends to help troubleshoot printers at this point. At this point, and I don't mind at all because you know what? It's a fun extension of the painting side of the hobby, and just gets really cool stuff out of it. Because where do y'all see the finer details on the casino table I've been working on? Really excited for it. Oh, I've been working on making casino tables for Las Vegas Open. And so those are going to be really cool. Yeah. I will be. Um, I just kind of want to finish up the. I'll be selling the STLs. Just have to, finish refining it. That one was just a test print, and I got to go back, make some corrections in the file. But yeah, I've got the photo he was talking about there was one of the craps table I made. I also I've got a poker table, I've got a blackjack table, I've got a finish on one of my personal streams a couple nights ago. Actually, a couple weeks ago now. At this point, I was working on a roulette table. Also got a slot machine. A bunch of like planters for around the casino. Because if you've ever been to a casino, they've got tons of indoor plants. So planters for the casino. I've got the cashier's cage, and close to finishing up the bar that I was sculpting. And once I've got all of those done, that's when and some fountains. I've also got some fountains. So once I've got those done, I'll be releasing those. And at the moment, I'm just able to set up to do selling of STLs. Not set up yet to do physical copies. I've got 6 printers, but it's a matter of logistics is more the thing. And I was on the Rage Quit Wire podcast a week or two ago, and I was talking about LVO and printing and stuff. And so I was chatting with him about that. And so working on getting the physical print logistics up and running as well. Because it's a fairly new business venture for me. Oh yeah, the most people it's a whole lot easier on my end too. But then there's some people don't have a printer yet. And that's what it comes down to. And one of the other things with printers is it does take a fair amount of time and space commitment to run them properly. And so not everyone is able. They've only got so much hobby time, and so while they'd like something for their table, they maybe don't have the time to handle the print themselves. And so I want to be able to offer both. And so while I may not be able to do it yet, it's in the cards in the future. Most anything I've done print on demand has been short run stuff for friends locally. Although right before the pandemic, I had shared some photos of some ice pillars I had designed, and got a lot. Did a bunch of ran off a bunch of prints for people with that, and learned from a lot of my mistakes with how to do things, how not to do things. But yeah, there's a in the Willow link that Kimberly will share later. There is a link to my mini hoarder shop there, which is what I'm using for now. It's under my Willow link. Just so handy, that Willow link thing. Oh man, so glad I saw that how you did that. Makes it so much easier to share my socials. Much better than a single link, or sharing a dozen, 3 or 4 different links, because it's just so much easier to drop one link as opposed to sharing, 3 or 4. It's like, I've got this thing here, I've got this thing here, I've got this thing here. Because no one's got time for that. Plus, then that's a lot of copy and pasting, etc., etc. Or like a dozen different chat bot commands. Oof. Well, then sometimes if you try to drop 2 of those in a row, it'll flag you for spamming. Yeah, oh gosh, all of the streamer problems. Something I've got to work on my channels. Got to get around to getting emotes or something there, and because I've got the affiliate thing now. I just got to actually get around to doing subscriber benefits or whatever. Get some subscribers. Because the other day, one of my buddies came and gave me his Bezos bucks, and like, oh, I don't know what this means. Well, part of it, some of that stuff with the making emotes and stuff, I actually know how to do some of that myself. I do graphic design from time to time. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh man, I can make those things myself, so I don't. I hate paying for something that I know I can make. Like I make my own overlays because yeah, it's all of a little bit of time in After Effects, and then I'm good. Yeah, are the emotes are saved? Are those saved as GIFs? Oh, usually a ping. Oh man, doesn't Doesn't have to be animated. Oh, I can crank something like that out in, no time. Part of the yeah, I took a bunch of graphic design when I was doing my game design degree. I took a bunch of graphic design courses too. So I know enough to be, dangerous in Photoshop and Illustrator. I also spent a lot of time doing stuff in After Effects. And part of it has been I've just been so busy that I just haven't gotten around to looking into doing it. You know how it goes. Sometimes you got that, chore you've been putting off for 2 months that takes all of 20 minutes to do. Yeah, if you go deeper into my Instagram there, I did a quick and dirty animation for Las Vegas Open. If I had more time, I could have done a full 3D animation because that's, my background. But I didn't feel like taking all of the time to do a full 3D rendered animation. So I just did an After Effects thing that faked a 3D thing. Oh, look! It's a bot who wants to make us money. Hello, little bot. Please tell me how to be famous. But now we'll never know where to buy followers from. That was our one chance to be famous, Haunted, and we lost it. Aren't you sad? Day ruined, life over, man. I mean, how am I ever going to be a famous Twitch streamer now? Want to be an influencer. Launch my own lifestyle brand, you know? Oh, I'll have my own signature scent. Weirdo. Weirdo by Douglas Bowman. Smell just like gamer funk. Ooh, we could bottle the essence of Gen Con. Why you gotta stomp on my butterfly, Haunted? See, that's an old crime scene trick to cover up the smell of decomposition. Ah, I picked up that one from watching Silence of the Lambs. Because one of the first scenes in Silence of the Lambs, they're, at the corners and they're passing around a bottle of Vicks. Oh, man. I probably saw that when I was way too young to have seen it. I was literally about to say, oh, man, I grew up with that movie. Which is, ultimately, I'm like, oh, that means I probably saw it when I was too young. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. We are. We sit, we gather together and paint little tiny dudes. And when we aren't painting little tiny dudes ourselves, we're watching other people on the internet paint tiny little dudes. Have you been able to get any games in recently at all, Haunted? Something bigger for hobby in time soon. Got the RC fire lit again. Nice. See, I haven't done any printing for RC. One of my buddies, who I know through Malifaux, got into doing the rock crawling type thing. So the slow. Ooh, Vagrant Song. Nice. Yeah, one of my buddies got into doing some of the so he does the rock crawling type stuff. So they go for the, really accurate looking scale modeling type stuff. And so I've printed up a few things for him. He made his as he put it, his redneck rafting rental company truck. So I printed up some uh, designed and 3D printed some canoes for him, as well as like an inner tube, and did some printing of some truck body modifications for him. And actually, I think you can dig back through like tags on Instagram or whatever. And so it was one of the early on when I started doing Instagram, was because, it's like, hey, you got to get on Instagram. I shared some stuff that you had done for me. And so he tagged me in this. And just the stuff where if I didn't know was RC, I would have thought it was a real truck. But so the next thing I've got to work, I got to get around to actually looking at the scan data for it. Is he's 3D scanned his head, and now the 3D scans are never great, especially scans of a person. Take a lot of cleanup stuff, but he wants me to clean it up and 3D print his head for him to go into one of his upcoming projects. So that'll be a fun project. Oh, I think I saw a quick picture of that. You shared that on your Facebook, right? Trying to because I saw two misshapens this weekend. One I think was might have been Nathaniel's or Firich's, where he was using it as a proxy shochu. But I think I saw yours so far. Yeah, that was looking good. I'll have to go. Oh yeah, it's such a great idea for it. Yeah, I have several misshapens here because Gen Con and picking up a whole ton of them there. A large number of them will be used for prize support here coming up. Yeah, I think I had 11 or 12 of them. Now, part of it was I was buying a lot of stuff for other people while I was there. A lot of my local guys say, "Hey, can you pick up stuff for me?" I'm like, "Sure." Because then they didn't have to worry about shipping. Because, shipping is always, no matter what, lately, shipping is always expensive. I bought a few things for myself, but I definitely did do more ninja shopping for friends back home than I mean, honestly, everyone got, didn't go crazy overboard, but when you're ninja shopping for several people, it adds up. 100 bucks here, 200 bucks there. Suddenly I'm packing up, 12 misshapens. Yep. It's nice to be one of those people who goes to the cons. I love, love, love going to conventions. Yeah, it's a cool box. I started building my Vix from it recently. Really, really beautiful sculpt. Kind of a pain. The getting the swirliness around it was a bit of a pain. Uh, oh yeah, they are. If you don't like large crowds, it is definitely not gonna be your cup of tea. I've just always been a super outgoing and gregarious person. Conventions are my happy place. You know what? If you wear the right cosplay, you could get away with that. Go as a Bubble Boy cosplay. Ooh, ooh, ooh! We can make. We'll make you a Lord Chompy Bits costume. And then I'll be the Dreamer and club anyone who gets too close. I mean, to be fair, you only have. I don't think you've got enough mouths or big claws to have, any LCB physique. Also, I don't think you're, 10 feet tall. But to be fair, as far as I know, you're about this tall because that's how big I've ever seen you on the screen. So as far as I'm aware, you're from you're Lilliputian. And until proven otherwise, I'm just going to stick with that. I mean, as far as I know, maybe you're just a really well done hologram. We might all be, you know what? Or, oh, I figured it out. You're a ghost. I mean, your name gives it away. Haunted Miniatures? I'm on to you. See, I've got to figure out what crew I feel like painting up once I'm done with Apex. I'm kind of you started on your Parker crew, nice man. So apparently, because I was about to say, I'm looking at maybe doing Outcasts because there's not a lot of Outcast players in my area. And I know that Ben just recently started doing a Hamlin crew. Contemplating maybe doing a Vix crew or possibly the Crazy Cat Lady crew because I've had that one in my pile of possibilities for a couple years now. Yeah, you know what? That's something I feel like I should do. If I were gonna paint, the thing is, I'm not a big fan of the Bayou. I'm not a big fan of. Oh no, Meeples is doing a forum where we can schedule time to sit down with owners. Oh, Meeples, the store. I'm assuming it's the name of your local store. Meeple Man. Oh, that's a good name for a store. Yeah, I'm my local shop is Dragon's Lair. And they're currently my FLGS is Dragon's Lair. I've been running Malifaux up there for a couple years now. And we're looking to get a few more learn to plays going up there here pretty soon. Just been the matter of finding the pandemic plus finding the time. Because I mean, getting more players is always a good thing. But with the whole pandemic, it's been easier to get back together with players I already know as opposed to start trying to recruit new people. So there's been a lot of reassemble the old guard, and then start to bring new people in. The other thing is my FLGS is currently in the midst of doing a build out on a great new space. So once they're done, they'll actually have room. I'll have room in there to run a full GT. See what? Yeah, before that we were, getting that many out on a regular basis. Now we're down to, 3 or 4. But then one of my regular players just had it hit. His wife just had their first kid. So he's, doing the new dad thing, which is totally understandable. Were I to have a child, yeah, I would not be going out to the game store all the time, especially not, while there's still a pandemic going on. Like, I'm comfortable with the amount of risk I'm taking for myself right now. But if I had a kid, I would not be going to the game store. But that does mean then we've got fewer people who are able to make it out on the regular because he was one of the most consistent players I had. Also a really good player. But another nice thing, though, is a friend who I've known for, God, he used to, when I ran a GW shop, he was a kid who used to come into my shop, and now he's, just got out of the army. And moved back to Texas and started working for Deloitte. So that's pretty cool. But so he's back in the, yeah. Well, I mean, so I knew he was a senior in high school when I was running the GW, when I started working at the shop. Graduated, went off to school. The Army paid for his school, so, he did the ROTC thing there. And so then when he graduated, went active with the Army for a couple years because, contracts and stuff. And as of last week, he is now officially a citizen. He's no longer, he's officially a civilian again. So he's able to come back out and start playing again. Played a game against him on last Thursday. It did not go well for him. He I killed Yan Lo turn 1. Technically, I killed Yan Lo turn 1 with one action. Well, expending one action on him there. I was playing Marcus. I had Miranda send, hey, Kojo, go for a walk. Okay. Then when Kojo activated, charged one of his models, got a rampage trigger, so knocked him in such a direction that I could move that 5 inches up through him, be right up in the middle of his crew, did some rude sign language, knocked everyone away, then charged Yanlo. Got an onslaught trigger on it, and Red Joker damage on the first hit. And then severe damage on the second hit. So that was 13 damage on his master, expending only one action on it. Oh, and it was all top decking it. I didn't have to cheat anything in for it. It was, it was brutal. Now, while I may have denied myself, I denied myself 1 point on assassinate by just wiping him off the table turn one. But if you can take out the leader turn one, you take out the leader turn one. You don't worry about that second point about the first one from assassinate. You guarantee that second. Especially because it tilts your opponent and really hampers their crew. Oh yeah, it was before Yanlo had activated. So Yanlo had a defense of 3. Stat 6 versus defense 3. Yeah, I'm going to press that advantage as much as I can. And shoot my monkey missile at him. Oh, man, it looks like we're getting late here. It's almost 5 o'clock. Oh, 6 o'clock Eastern, but it is almost 5 o'clock. So it looks like I got about 4 minutes left here. So this guy is very nearly finished. Yeah, no, I felt like we played the game out. But we probably should have just re-racked. Yep. The Kimberly will share my socials in a second here. But yeah, so I've been mentioning a lot about Las Vegas Open coming up here. So you should all come to Las Vegas Open. Come to Las Vegas Open. Weird miniatures. Weird will be there. They shall be there. I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on. Literally. I'll be wearing that Jester's hat there. I always wear that when I'm, running a big tournament. because, it's my TO hat then. If I'm wearing my hat, I am TOing. If I take it off, those are no longer the comments of the TO. That way I can say, hey, this is the ruling I have, because that is how it is. Now, I think things should be different, but this is how I have to rule because it's what it is right now. I do that occasionally. But yes, there will be glowing terrain. If you look at my Instagram, you can see a preview of some of that glowing terrain. There will also be a casino table. It will be glorious. And there shall be awesome, cool prize support and pretty, medals and such. It'll be wonderful. I'm excited. Swag bags, fun, shenanigans. The details for that are on LasVegasOpen.net. There was also a Weird posted about it recently. So I think their last week's news, they posted about that. So information is there. I've got information up on the forums. There's information in the A Weird Place Facebook group. Come to Las Vegas Open. It shall be epic and wonderful. Also, I'm planning on being... Oh, there we go. Also, I'll be doing some streaming on my stream. So twitch.tv/Guslado is on the Willow link there. I'll be streaming tomorrow evening, probably around 9:45 Eastern time. 8:45 Central, because I live in Central time. But yeah, so hope you are liking this. I'm really liking how this guy's looking so far. And then after that, we just have this Crypsis core guy left, and then we're done with the Apex. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope 2022 is treating you all well so far. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me as I paint. And, stay weird, everyone.